This is your sign. Your dreams hold the answer. You should sleep more and find a way to keep track of your dreams, either through dream journaling, keeping a journal next to your bed, or recording in your phone or a voice recorder, whatever you saw in your dreams. It'll help. Welcome back to Sweet Infinity. My name is Kieran. I'm on a month-long quest to read from one of my tarot decks or one of my oracle decks and interpret it for you, and I hope that it resonates with you. Today I'll be reading from this deck, the Nicoletta Ceccoli Deck, which is based on the artwork by this artist, Nicoletta Ceccoli. And I've just always found her art to be very haunting and beautiful. And when I found this tarot deck, I was like, I gotta try that. I gotta check that out. Honestly, it is very different. It's a very advanced deck, what I would consider a very advanced deck. By that I mean that it is a deck that you would have to know the tarot to really fully be able to understand, because the cards are gorgeous in terms of the artwork. It's very haunting. However, the cards are not really marked with any text, and sometimes the cards don't always seem to correspond to the traditional tarot, even though the artwork is incredible. So if you are a little bit more of an advanced tarot user, definitely a good deck to have, because just the artwork. And I would even use this as an oracle deck. You don't even have to necessarily worry about the meanings of the tarot cards that these cards are based on. You can just go by where the artwork leads you, because the artwork itself is so evocative that you will get inspiration and intuition by just looking at the artwork. And then you can always cross-reference it to tarot cards meanings for the traditional decks. It's up to you. So I'm going to do a kind of a hybrid thing where I'm going to read from one of my Galaxy Tarot apps that I like to consult for a general description of that kind of card when I pick the cards. And then I will also interpret based on the artwork that's on the card. I'm going to shuffle the deck and we'll get started. I hope that you can like and share this video, send a thumbs up, share the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit the little bell icon so that you're notified every time I put out a video. If you are interested in purchasing this deck, I will be leaving a link, several links actually, to different Amazon stores and places where you can buy this deck. If you use one of my affiliate links, I would appreciate it. It'll help me out. It won't cost you anything extra, so I would appreciate that very much. And also remember to leave me a comment and tell me if there are any non-traditional tarot decks that you use or that you like. Do you not like them? There's some people who don't like them, and that's understandable. To each their own. I like traditional and non-traditional decks. I really tend to veer towards non-traditional just because I find just the beauty of different artists to be so incredible. And little pieces of art in card form that we get to hold on to. So let's see what jumped out. So we got the Three of Swords jumped out. Ooh, Three of Swords. And then let's see if we can get a couple more cards out. We'll build a story. We'll build a reading for you. And I've got the Two of Swords. Ooh, lots of swords. Okay. Maybe one more, or maybe more than one more. Let's see. Nine of Cups. Let's start with there. Start with what we have. Three of Swords, Two of Swords, Nine of Cups. Three of Swords generally has to do with loss, betrayal, being heartbroken, stabbed through the heart. The usual image for this card is a heart with three swords stabbing it. So it's like when you've just been betrayed so badly and you feel completely heartbroken. That's this card. And here we have a beautiful little girl who looks very sad, and there's tears down her cheeks. So it's also about grief and loss, and not just any kind of grief, but like grief that comes from having been betrayed, having loss of trust. Then we have the Two of Swords, and the Two of Swords is about making tough choices. She's on a thin line. She's just walking on this thread, and she has to balance herself. She can't fall down. She has to balance the stick that she's holding, you know. So the idea is that she has to be very, very careful and make very deliberate steps. And it's not always easy, but she has to get to the other side because there's just nowhere else to go but down. So she has to be careful, but she has to make that journey. And then we have the Nine of Cups. The Nine of Cups is about enjoyment, indulgence, self-care. And I mean, so far what I'm seeing between these three cards is that you are in a place where you have been severely hurt by someone or something that you had invested a lot of yourself into. You're definitely having a moment of a good cry. And in fact, that is a good idea. You need to get those tears out. You need to get those tears out. That's actually very natural, very healthy. Every so often we need to cry. Then we have the person walking, treading on thin ice, or let's say, or just like a very thin line. And this, you have to be very careful. And I feel like I'm getting this energy of extracting yourself from that situation that caused you that pain. But you have to extract yourself in a very careful way, whether it's a relationship or a work situation where you have been betrayed, where your trust was lost. Instead of acting out, it's better to just very carefully extract yourself from that situation and focus instead on taking care of yourself, your physical needs, your mental needs. Take baths, take time for yourself, pamper yourself, because you've deserved this for a long time. And I think you put somebody else first, somebody else who did not appreciate you, who betrayed your trust, somebody who took you for granted and maybe even took advantage of you. You need to find a way, if you already realize this, and if you don't, you should. You need to extract yourself very carefully, and you need to allow yourself to take care of you. That's important too. It's not fair for you to sacrifice yourself, especially for those who don't appreciate it. Let's pick one or two more cards. So here we have the Strength card. In this deck, it's represented by this image. The idea of the Strength card is to overcome adversity and to overcome anything that is there to harm you or harm others. So here, this person is hunting some kind of creature, some kind of dragon, presumably something that was threatening her or somebody she cares about. The Strength card is also usually about knowing which battles to fight. It might be that you might have to, if you're going through this struggle to extract yourself from a bad situation, you have to know which battles to fight and how to fight them, and know that you can. But first you have to take care of yourself. You have to enrich yourself. You have to empower yourself. And then here we have the Six of Cups. The Six of Cups is about innocence, memories, trust, nostalgia, being childlike in a good way, in a way that's full of awe and wonder. Here we have a character who is making friends with the creatures around her. So in a way, she got rid of the bad creatures and she's making friends with the good creatures. So both things are possible. You have to know who to fight and who to befriend. And that's always tricky, right? So you have the tricky choices that you have to make. And sometimes you don't know which is the right way to go. I understand that. But the question is, this is a lesson for you. It doesn't mean that you should never ever trust anyone again, because this is the card of trust. This is the card of friendship. So you will have that again. If this is a relationship and somebody betrayed you, or a friendship or anything like that, it doesn't mean you will not have trust again. You will not be able to trust anyone again. But you do need to give yourself time. That's needed. You've been through a lot. You need to give yourself credit. You need to allow yourself the time that you need to heal. And you need to slowly figure out how to rebuild your life in that aspect. Because you will rebuild it. You might have to pick your battles. You might have to find new friends, new people who will support you. And sometimes what happens when we get betrayed, we don't know who to trust anymore. We don't even know if we can trust our own ability to tell anymore who to trust. And that takes time. And for that, that's when your self-healing comes in. That's where you need to self-heal, self-care. Because you need to first reestablish a relationship with yourself, the trust and love for yourself. That's actually what is lost the most when somebody betrays us. Can we trust again? How do I know who to trust? First, you have to learn to trust yourself. First, you have to take care of yourself. You have to tell yourself, I will always be there for you. I will always take care of you. I will always protect you. And then you have to follow through with that. And then you will find a way, and you listen to your intuition. You listen to others who you know you can trust already. Other people in your life who've been there all along. And they'll tell you how to reestablish that balance for yourself. They'll help you with that. And then there'll be some battles you will need to fight and some battles you don't need to fight. And you can befriend them. You can even befriend people or entities that look unfriendly at first. But you can eventually find a way to reconcile with them. But all of that starts by you cutting the cord with those who are actually hurting you or who have betrayed your trust to the point where it's not something that can be redeemed. Take time for yourself. You deserve it. I hope that this has been helpful for you. This is a more advanced deck, like I said, but it's a very good deck, and it's a deck that really stimulates your imagination, your intuition, because you can combine a traditional card reading with an artistic reading, and I find that to be pretty cool and pretty useful at times. If you liked this video, please put a thumbs up. Please share, like, and comment, especially if you leave a comment and let me know what you think about this kind of artwork. It's very beautiful. And if you're going to buy this, please buy it through one of my affiliate links in the description. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I'd appreciate that. I'll be back with another reading, and you can check out the other videos on this channel as well. Take care of yourself and take care of each other, and have a sweet infinity.